Hey, what's up guys? In this video, I want to talk about how you can make productivity fun, exciting, and joyful, right? So many people feel like, they're not getting enough done. They're not seeing the results that they'd like to, specifically like in their business. What they tend to do is just end up trying to push themselves, trying to motivate themselves constantly. And what happens is they end up leading lives of dissatisfaction and end up in burnout. And the stress and the anxiety is so overwhelming and it just builds more and more resistance. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, we've all experienced this. We go for something, we really have an intention, a strong goal. We want to create this powerful, mission or purpose. We want to live our dreams, or we just want to have success in whatever area it is. And so we start pushing, we start driving, the motivation, the inspiration, catches us for a while, but we almost always, we don't end up looking at some of the deeper things that are holding us back that end up making this a lose-lose situation in the long run. Because look, if we're stressed out all the time because of all the things that we have to do, and we're not seeing the results that we'd like to in the actions that we're taking, it ends up being like a giant weight on us. And that weight that we carry, we can only push through that weight for so long before we're going to have a breakdown. It's going to come in the form of anxiety, of overwhelm, of stress, of emotional dysregulation. We might end up snapping at people or just trying to escape and check out and create distance in our relationships and things. And we're not living the highest potential, not even close. Or, we're constantly looking for that break, that getaway, that vacation. Like, oh my God, I just need to get away from all of this. And this is no way to live. It's no way to move forward with effectivity and joyfulness. But there's also a danger on the flip side. So I want to talk about both of these things, because the other danger can just be like, we can sort of ignore all of that or try to avoid the resistance and stress. And then we end up taking half-hearted measures or escaping in some form, or thinking we're doing enough, or patting ourselves on the back all the time, trying to boost up our egos. And we create this false sense of accomplishment. And either one of those is way out of balance, and it's not going to lead to a life of fulfillment, and it's certainly not going to bring out the highest in us. So if you're watching this, you probably have a sense of mission, a sense of purpose, or you want to have that sense of mission and purpose in your life, and it's lacking. And so often the idea is like, I just need to do more. I need to figure this out. I need to crush it. I need to hustle. I need to grind. And look, for some of you guys, that's where you are and that's where you need to be. I'm not going to say that that's a bad way to be entirely, because it does produce results. It's helped many people arrive at a level of success that otherwise they wouldn't have been able to. But there is a real danger here. So the danger is that if we don't address those hidden fears, anxieties, the resistance that constantly gets amplified and added to because of this need to push, this need to do more, we're going to have a break. It's not sustainable. It's absolutely not sustainable. You see the people aging quickly. You see more and more gray hairs coming up. You see how stressed out they are. You see how this is affecting their own sense of self, their sense of what is this life really about? Is it just about doing? Is it just about success? So I can speak about these things very well because I've been there. I know what this is like. I know how detrimental it is to your well-being and your sense of confidence and your sense of appreciation and enjoyment of life. So here's the solution, or here's a solution that you might want to consider. Whenever those feelings of overwhelm come up, right, the tendency is, I just got to keep going. I got to keep going. I got to keep going. So instead of just doing that, or instead of trying to push those thoughts away, or those thoughts that come up that are like, you're not going to be able to do this. You're going to fail again. This has happened before. You've tried this before. It's not going to work. And you're just like, shut the hell up, man. I don't want to listen to that stuff. I'm just going to keep doing it. I got to do this. I have to. And either one of those, again, is not the way. So one of the things you might consider is that when those feelings of stress or anxiety or overwhelm come, or that it feels like that mountain of resistance weighing you down, that you just got to push through it, instead of just doing what you've always done, stop. Take a moment. Give yourself some space and sit with these things. Like, go inside, go to a quiet place where you're not going to be disturbed, and start to look inside and ask yourself, where is this fear coming from? Where is this insecurity coming from? Where is this feeling like I can't do it or I have to do it? Where is it coming from? Because neither one of those is going to lead to a life of fulfillment and success ultimately. And I mean success on every level, not just financial success, not just getting what you want, but actually getting to enjoy the process. So many people think like, when I get this done, when I have these things done, then I can take a break and I can enjoy my life. But that's a pathetic way of living. It's misery, and it doesn't have to be that way. There is a way that you can actually be incredibly highly productive, make massive gains in your business, in your relationships, in your body's health, and in your sense of spiritual connection and connection to your higher self. There's a way to do all of these things and enjoy the process. I'm living proof of this because, a couple years ago, and even up until earlier this year, I was under the weight of that stress and anxiety. And I would do things to avoid the work sometimes. Then sometimes I'd realize I can't keep doing that. I got to get back to it. And I would drive myself and push. And again, I was either avoiding the stress or I was succumbing to the stress. But this incredible balance point of tapping into inspiration, and the inspiration that you can tap into is absolutely limitless. You don't need to create more and more motivation, drive yourself from fear, from scarcity, from not enough yet, or from this compulsive need to prove yourself, to demonstrate your worth. You don't need to do that. If you go inside and you take the time to learn how to examine these things within yourself, to uncover these wounds of fear and scarcity, to see where is this resistance really coming from on a deeper level, right? On a deeper level, these old wounds, these sometimes childhood traumas, the programs that got put into us from our culture, from our upbringing, from our society. And we learn to address these things and heal and release them. This is removing the blocks to productivity, to being productive and being inspired at the same time. I can absolutely tell you guys with 100% certainty and alignment because I've been living this myself. And in the last few months, I've seen a level of productivity and capacity that I never knew was sustainable. Like every single day, I'm spending hours and hours like doing the things that I need to do. And I'm not dealing with all that stress. I'm making massive growth in all areas of my life. And I don't have to feel like I must push myself. I have to do it. I have to perform. I have to prove myself. All these things. It is a shabby way to live. And when you tap into this other way and you tap into this inspiration, this wellspring of purpose and motivation, everything changes. And I know this is possible for you because it's possible for me. And ultimately, in our core, we're the same. How our lives express, the stories that we have, the individual experiences we have, yes, they're all different. But at our core, we're made of the same stuff. Sure, we all have different goals, different capacities, right? Different areas where we naturally shine. But we want to have a life that's balanced so that we're succeeding in every area of our life and we get to enjoy the process. I was just in a training and someone was asking, the training was mainly being focused on business, but someone asked, well, what about the joy? Where does the joy come in? And the response was like, well, a lot of you guys haven't earned the right to feel that joy yet. You got to produce, you got to keep pushing, you got to demonstrate. And while that might be effective for a temporary period of time, it completely overlooks the very real possibility for everyone to not only produce at a high level, but to enjoy the process. And I'll tell you what, the level of satisfaction that comes from that is unparalleled. There's nothing like this. There's absolutely nothing like this. And I don't care how much success externally you've had, or how much failure you've had, or where you're struggling in your life. I can relate. I can relate very, very deeply. And so I know that there's a way out. There's a way to tap into that inspiration which won't dry up, which doesn't need to be constantly fueled by fear or by, just like well, that's not enough yet. Okay, I got that goal. Now what's the next thing? And we keep moving the marker. We keep moving the goalposts. And we never get to actually experience and abide in that space of satisfaction. And so that's what it's really about. It's not just about getting the goal and then feeling okay for a little while and then starting the whole cycle over again. And it's certainly not about approaching the goal, you're almost there, and then you're starting to realize, yeah, but that's not it yet. Okay, I got to set it higher now because I'm almost there and I know that's not going to satisfy me. What's the next thing? Obviously, we should always be growing, right? I'm not saying that you should be satisfied with good enough. I'm definitely not saying that. But what I'm saying is when you tap into this sense of inspiration and appreciation for what is, also the drive, the natural drive to grow and to want to demonstrate more, and you simultaneously begin to eliminate and dissolve those fears, those stressors, the anxiety, the pressure that weighs on us, and you can drop that stuff without the fear that if you don't have those things, you're not going to produce, because that's a very real fear people have too. It's like, well, if I don't have the pressure, I'll just be a sloth. I'll just be a slacker. I won't demonstrate. I won't keep moving. But again, this is the only reason why you're afraid of that is because you haven't tapped into this inspiration. The inspiration doesn't dry up. The drive to produce more, to demonstrate more and more of your capacity, to live the highest that you're capable of every day doesn't go away when you eliminate that stress. You're just learning a new way to activate it, to tap into it, a way that's sustainable and the way that leads to incredible freedom, peace, joy. And just think of how that's going to affect your life and the lives of the people that you're intimate with, your relationships. When you show up in that way and you're able to actually be present with them, not thinking about, okay, I gotta listen to this person, but also these other things are nagging. How much time do I need to spend to listening to my wife or talking to my kids before I can get back to the work or something like that? You know, it's like, that's no way to live. And you're shorting them of the best in you. You're robbing them of the experience of your presence, which is what they want more than anything. Of course, they want you to succeed. Of course, they want to see you bring out the best in yourself, but they also need you in the moment to be with them, to not be distracted by all of these things that you need to do. And so this has benefits that are global in your experience. It's not just going to make you more productive. It's going to make you a better person. It's going to make you have healthier relationships. The stress that you'll eliminate will improve your health, your sense of well-being. Your capacity to do more will grow, will increase exponentially when you tap into this. So I hope this was resonating with you. And if you'd like to know more about the specifics of how I've tapped into this and the tools that I use to eliminate the stress, to alleviate the anxiety, to completely dissolve resistance in the moment when it comes up very quickly, very rapidly, it's real, it's possible for you. And so if that's something you're interested in, by all means, reach out to me, send me a message, leave a comment, and let's connect. All right. And I appreciate you for watching. Thank you so much for letting me share. And I hope this was helpful to you. I love you very much, whoever you are. And we'll see you on another one real soon. All right. God bless.